Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to our lecturer and my fellow friend. Okay, today our group will present about comparison long pass between novice and elite player. Before we start, I introduce myself. My name is Khairul Fikri Muhammad Said. Okay, we proceed to the next slide. Okay, what is futsal? Futsal is a game that we play for 5 players and for 7 reserve per team. It quite similar with football, but it play in futsal court and the size of ball also different. Okay. For the surface of the court, we can use the turf or floor. Next is the position of the player is last man, which is hala and pivot. Okay, futsal will be played for 20 minutes and got 2 half and 5 minutes for break between both half. Each team can get for 2 times 4 time out for 1 minute. The first time out they can use in the first half, and the second time out they can use for second half. Next, what's the most important in fitness component in futsal, which is skill and technique, speed, agility and quickness, and also power. Alright, for the skill and technique that required in futsal is passing and dribbling. For speed, agility and quickness, this is needed because this component is used to beat the opponent. Next is power. Power need especially for striker and goalkeeper because they need to shooting and throwing. Next, futsal equipment and facility. First that we need, of course, the futsal shoes. Then ball, which is size 4. Next is jersey, goal post, and lastly is futsal court. Alright, for the equipment that we use for recording is DSLR camera. The type is Canon X500HS. We use 2 types of camera to record. For the first camera, we use to record angle of leg while doing kicking, and we put the camera placed on the ground and record in sagittal plane. Alright, for the second camera, we use Nikon D700, and the purpose we use second camera is to record the projectile of the ball, angle of the projectile, and also height of the projectile. We put the camera is on 0.5 meter height and also on a sagittal plane. The difference between both cameras is the movie quality ratio, which is 2.1 and 3.2. Right, next, for the detail of recording, for the subject 1, the elite player, we got Muhammad Alif bin Mustafa, which is 22 years old, and the height is 172 cm, 63 kg. Muhammad Alif was represent for UiTM Seremban 3 and for Sukma, Masum, and also Sukip. He also play for other teams outside from the university. Alright, for the novice, which is myself, my name is Khairi Fikri. I'm 21 years old, and my weight is 74 kg and my height is 170 cm. I only play futsal on leisure time. Right. For the place that we record the video is on netball court UiTM Seremban 3. Alright, for the next slide, I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, I will proceed with the long pass phase. Okay, before I proceed, I will introduce my name first. My name is Muhammad Ali bin Mustafa, and I will take turn to present about the long pass phase. Okay, first of all, before you do the kicking, while you do the long passing, is first you must take a few steps backward. This is for your momentum of the ball and your leg. So second one is run toward the ball. So when you already take a step and run toward the ball, and then place 10 leg at the side of the ball, which is the non-dominant leg. For me, my dominant leg is right leg, so we use the left leg to use as a standing side. Okay, next is lean back your body little bit. So what you want to do is, here is after you place the left leg in the side of the ball and then lean back little bit your back, and then swing your dominant leg and do the contact with the ball. Okay, so for my dominant leg is right, so I will do the swing for my right leg and then do the contact with the ball. When I do the contact with the ball, make sure you put pressure on the below side of the ball. Because of what? Because of we want the ball travel quite high and reach the target. So here you can see the lean back your body and the put the pressure at the below. Both of this is the key point to ball is have a good is good enough of the height to reach the target. Okay, the last one is follow through. Follow through after you go after you kick the ball and then you do a follow through. This is because of we want the projectile become smooth and good. Okay. Okay. Next is muscle involved. Main muscle that involved is quadriceps, tibialis, and our gastrocnemius, which is you can see all of them are our lower limb muscle group. Okay, so joint involved is hip joint involved while we doing the lean back, and then knee joint while we doing the kicking. Ankle joint when we do a kicking we will lock our ankle, so there we will use our ankle joint. And shoulder joint part is when we do open wide bit our shoulder or our hand, because of we want to get what we call as balance while we doing the kicking. So some player, if they like to open like their hand a little bit to get balance and swing their leg. Elbow joint also the same function as the shoulder joint, which is we use to keep our body balance while doing the kicking. Okay, the last is movement involved in this skill, which is knee flexion and knee extension. Exactly, is you can know these two flexion and extension we use while we do the kicking, and then knee flexion we do while we lean back a little bit. Okay, so three of this is the main movement that involved in this skill. Okay, I will show you the projectile of the ball. Okay, first we go to the novice first, and then we go to the elite player projectile. Okay, so first is novice projectile. Okay, okay, you can see the ball through the air, and then it's not reached the target yet, but the the ball is going to the other place. So this target need to go to the ball. Okay, you can see this one for the novice. It's not achieve the 12 meter. It's not achieve the goal. You can see the projectile is not quite good because of this player, novice player, not get enough height of the ball to reach the target. Okay, next. We go for the elite player projectile. Okay, this is elite player projectile. Okay, you can see this player, which is elite player, get high enough of the projectile of the ball to reach the target, which is the target didn't need to go to other place to receive the ball. Just static at the one place and receive the ball. Okay, you can see the projectile is not any bouncing between player A and player B. It's just go through the air and then receive the target, which is 12 meter. So this player achieved their goal, which is want to travel the ball for 12 meter without bouncing, or accuracy is the sharp to the player. It's not like the just now elite player. Okay, so angle of the movement. Just now we show you the projectile of the ball. Okay, now I will proceed with the angle of the movement, which is what is the difference between novice player and elite player in angle movement. Okay, can you show me for the novice movement? Okay, this is novice player angle, which is the dominant leg. You can see is 134 for the dominant leg angle, and the non-dominant leg angle is 150, which is in this case you can know that player not produce enough because of the angle of the leg is quite big, and also the standing leg, which is we use this leg, left leg for the standing side for the balance also. So we get 150. So the flexion of the knee is not too much. It's just a little bit, and this is also for the dominant leg. Okay, so okay, so you can see while doing the kicking also, these players are not lean back enough to get a good projectile of the ball. You can see here the body part is just a straight away. It's not lean back. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is for the novice, and for the elite. Okay, for the elite player, you can see here the angle of the leg is 104. It's smaller than the novice player, and the standing leg, which is the left leg, is 133. It's get the lower enough to kicking the ball, and you can see the body is lean back a little bit. Just now you can see that elite player and novice player. Just now novice player is straight away, but for the elite player is lean back a little bit to get a quite high projectile of the ball. Okay, for the next slide we go for the novice player and elite player, which is we do a comparison. What is comparison between novice player and elite player in projectile of the ball? For the first, height of ball projectile, which is how high the ball get to the air to receive the target. Angle of the projectile, which is when you already do just now we get the projectile, and then we must know the angle of the projectile. So if you get a bigger, you can go for the more vertical. If you get a lesser angle, you go for the vertical projectile. And then The last one is angle of the movement. It's just like just now. We can see the angle of the hand, angle of the leg. So the next slide is about novice player and elite player projectile of the ball. The next presenter will present about this. Thank you. That's
2, 2, 3.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am the third presenter. My name is Syaiful. My name is Syaiful Anwar. So in this slide, I will present to you about the difference between novice player and the elite player. So at the left side is the novice and the right side is the elite player. As you can see, at the novice player, the projectile of the ball. So the ball projectile is only travel 10 meter from the starting point. So 10 meter, basically the ball is not reached to the second player, and the ball bounces to the left of the second player who receives the ball. So as you can see on the left picture, the projectile of the novice player ball is not high enough. When the projectile is not high enough, means that the travel of the ball cannot reach the second player. Differentiate with the elite player, that is Muhammad Alif. The projectile of the ball is much higher than the novice player, resulting when the projectile of the ball is high, the ball can reach the second player during the long passing. So, as you can see, the novice player, when he kick the ball goes to the right of the second player, and the elite player, when the elite player kick the ball goes directly to the second player, and the second player can receive the ball perfectly. So this is the next slide from the previous one. So this picture, the novice player and the elite player shows the height of the projectile and the length from the first point to the second point. So first we go with the novice player. As you can see, the length of the from point A to point B is 12 meter exactly, but for the novice player, the ball only travel until 10 meter of the point. So as you can see, the height of the projectile is 1.16 meter, and compared to the elite player, Alif have the height of the ball projectile is 1.31 meter. So the difference of the height of the projectiles give the important impact on the passing. Next is the difference and comparison of angle of projectile between novice player and elite player. So first one, we look at the novice player. The angle of the projectile is we take from the distance of point A to point B and the projectile of the ball. So between the two lines, we can get the angle of projectile. For the novice player is 15 degrees. For the optimal angle that we need in every sport is 45 degree. So the novice player only gets 15 degree, and resulting the ball cannot travel too far compared to the elite player. Because of elite player he already adapt in the game, so he can intercept and anticipate with the passing or long passing. So elite player he decided to make a long passing and resulting 20 degree of the angle of projectile. So in this slide, we want to tell you about the force produced in both players. So we use the formula of force equal to mass multiple with acceleration. So in order to find the force, we need in first place we need to find the velocity of the ball. Means the speed of the ball from the ball is constant at one place, and after the ball is kicked. So in novice player, the distance of the ball from the point A to the first ball that touch the ground is 10 meter, because of the ball is not reached to the second player, and we divide the 10 meter with 1.2 seconds. That is the time where the ball at the first point to the second point is the time. So that will resulting 8.3 meter per second in velocity for the novice player. And in elite player, the ball travel from point A to point B is 12 meter. It means that the ball is perfectly reached to the second player, and the time taken from the ball to travel from point A to point B is 1.22 seconds. It is not much different between the novice player, because of the novice player is only travel 10 meter and elite player 12 meter. So means that we can see elite player much better than the novice player, obviously. So we get the velocity 9.8 meter per second for the elite player. So we already get two velocity of two player. Now we refer back to the formula. F equal to ma, force equal to mass multiple acceleration. So we need acceleration of the ball when the ball travel. So in order to get acceleration, we use the formula velocity 2 means that the final velocity minus velocity 1, that means the initial velocity of the ball divided with time taken. So as we know, when the ball is at constant, so means that there are no velocity, because the ball only fixed at one place. So automatically the velocity of initial of the ball is 0. So because of that, we directly take the velocity, the previous we get from the distance divided by time. So 8.3 meter per second divided by time taken is 1.2 for novice player, and for elite player is 9.8 divided by 1.2 for the elite player. So resulting the different numbers in novice and elite. So novice player gets only 9.8 meter per second in acceleration, and elite player get 8 meter per second in acceleration. So we already get the acceleration for both ball in both individual, the novice and elite player. So back to the equation, F equal to ma, mass multiple with acceleration. So the mass of the ball, we already weighed the ball is 420 gram. The ball is the same for novice and elite. So 420 gram multiple with the acceleration for novice and elite. So for the novice player, 420 gram multiple with 9.2 meter per second in acceleration. So resulting the answer is 28.9 Newton. So that is the force produced by of the ball in novice player. So we see at the elite player, the mass of the ball 420 gram multiple with 8 meter per second in acceleration, so resulting 333.6 Newton. So there are different force produced to the ball between novice player and elite player, and novice player have less force generate compared to the elite player.